Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 757th to 758 for the 21st to the 22nd of March. And it will include also the Russian Defense Ministry's latest report from today, which is their 12 noon report from the 23rd of March. And the first thing I want to talk about, or rather to quickly talk about, is the situation with the terror attack at Crocus City Hall, basically a concert hall just off Moscow. And so there is a terror attack. It may have relationship with the Ukraine war. This is not part of the war yet, but there is strong indication that they are actually paid by the Ukrainian side. So based on the latest information, there is a lot of people died. I think 40 or 60 people have died. Over 100 have entered the hospital. So this is a massive shooting. I will do a separate video on this, going through the entire details of what had happened. And so the situation is ongoing, but so far it seems like all the perpetrators has been arrested or killed. So there is 11 people getting arrested. Allegedly, one was killed. 11, 4 of them is the attackers. The 4 of them tried to escape to the Bryansk region. They are trying to drive in this direction to probably escape into Ukraine. And but they didn't get very far. They got the white car that they were in, a Renault car, was shot by the security forces. The vehicle was immobilized, and then all 4 of them was arrested. I think one of the 4 was actually killed. So there is also rumors that of the 4, actually only 1 was killed, 1 was arrested, and 2 of them actually ran away. So there is a lot of information that is inaccurate or inconsistent or contradicting, which is why I'm holding back in terms of the video until more information is out. So anyway, that is the thing. I don't want to talk too much into it because a lot of information is still not fully confirmed. But the latest is that the shooters are from Tajikistan. So anyway, we go on to the frontline changes report. There is 2 frontline changes report. There is already a comprehensive frontline changes report I published yesterday, so do check it out. I'm not going to rehash the same thing. So the first frontline change is over at Novomykhailivka. So there is a geolocation of Russian forces at the very end, a very south point of the Novomykhailivka village. Sorry. So this actually invalidates the Ukrainian claim. So I match it with the Russian mapping. That's all. I at the moment, I don't feel like I should, based on this one geolocation, and attribute the entire estate around here to be under Russian control just yet. I want more information. So this is the first one. Second one is over at Ivanivske. So this is the major news. The Russian Defense Ministry in today's report, in the latest report, it was just posted within 1 to 2 hours ago. As per this recording, the Russian Defense Ministry declared the capture of Krasnoye. Krasnoye is actually Ivanivske. So this came as somewhat of a surprise, if you ask me, because the last update, the map update that we have of this town was half of it, that the Russia have captured half. But suddenly there is this sudden announcement that they have captured the rest. Let me use this color. The rest of Ivanivske. So this is a surprise. I will not put a flag onto this icon because I want further corroboration, because sometimes the Russian Defense Ministry may be a bit too excited. So we will continue to monitor, but tentatively the mapping on the Russian mapping is now going to show Ivanivske as fully under Russian control, based on this information coming from the Russian Defense Ministry. But I will definitely look forward to corroboration from either Deep State UA or RIBA, or from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, which I don't think they will ever say anything. But this corroborates this geolocation of Russian forces attacking in this direction, because this was a bit of an interesting development for me. And the fact that if the Russians were attacking in this direction, there's a possibility that there is further operations as well over in Ivanivske as well. So this makes a somewhat of a sense, a bit of a stretch. I would think so. So, and there's one more frontline change is over at Tonenke. So based on okay, so there's two. So one is this one, and another one is this one. So let me click. So it's probably clearer like this. So this frontline change is actually this part over here is an invalidation of Ukrainian claim, and then an expansion of the Russian front line. So this is actually the previous front line is actually here. So this is the new one. Oh God, it looks so much. Okay, so this is the frontline change. This is actually based on Deep State UA's latest mapping, which shows that the Russian forces fully capturing the entire of Tonenke. So let me redraw this. Fully capturing the rest of Tonenke, in fact, have expanded further westward towards nowhere, towards Yasnobrovdivka, which is actually very far away. So it's just an expansion of the Russian control around Tonenke, which means that the next time we will probably see the Russians taking away this southern part, because this is becoming a salient, which is not possible for the Ukrainian forces to hold. So we will see this area of collapse, which means that this is the biggest breakthrough for the Russians since the first initial breakthrough into the BOT line. So this is actually rather significant. This development would see, I believe, a pretty fast expansion of Russian control in this area here, to the point where the Ukrainians actually have their defense line along this settlements, because the center area here is going to be very, very hard to defend for now, I would say, or at least I would imagine that to be, especially given that the Russian forces have basically opened the gate again. So we will see how this progress. So this is the frontline changes reports coming from the defense coming from the Ukraine war over the past 24 hours. So the next, so we're going to go next into another information is basically the strategic situation. The Russian forces have launched a massive missile and drone attack on Ukrainian energy infrastructure. They haven't done this for a year now. So there is this sudden attack, and one of them was actually geolocated to have struck the Dnipro hydroelectric power plant. So based on the information that I have seen, it seems like that it was a very surgical strike. It hits only the power generators, and the dam itself is structurally still intact. That means the dam is still operating, but the power station itself, the generator itself, is totally destroyed. Based on I would say I can call it rumor, because I do not see the source itself, but based on information that was transmitted on some channels, it was based on the Ukrainian claims that the power station is now totally destroyed over at this dam. The dam, however, is not destroyed. The dam is still operating to hold back the water along the Dnipro River. So, and this is part of a wider strike across Ukraine. I think Kharkiv was hit, Kiev was hit. So I'm not fully sure the full details. And generally speaking, I don't think it's very important because just as per the strikes that happened last year, it didn't really change the war. So which is why I don't really cover missile strikes that much, because it doesn't really do much. So, and of course, it makes life very, very difficult for sure. So we go on to the southern front. Over the southern front, there is only one geolocation, not geolocation, a report of Russian Defense Ministry report about them striking Tokarivka. So there's nothing much to talk about. We move on to the Zaporizhzhia Front. Over the Zaporizhzhia Front, there is a geolocation of a NASAM, a North American surface-to-air missile system, getting destroyed in a Russian strike. So this is very far away. This is north of the Zaporizhzhia city. It's more than 50 kilometers away from the front line. And this hit is through Lancet, if I'm not wrong. Is it Lancet? No, it's a missile strike. So, this is actually, there's a drone, there's a surveillance drone that actually is watching this strike, which means that the Russian surveillance capability through drone is rather far, at least over 50 kilometers they can actually fly, and this allows the Russians to have basically control, at least visual control across all the front line, include the entire of the oblast of Zaporizhzhia. So that's actually quite significant. Over at the front line at the Orikhiv salient, there is fighting reported at Robotine across the 3 days, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. 23rd is the current day. So because this is based on the Russian Defense Ministry report, so there is fighting reported in this area here with Russian forces attacking Robotine. So that's all. Although that's all for the front line in this area here. Over at Melanivka, there is a missile strike. I think I pasted the wrong statement. Okay, I'm just going to delete this. There's something happened with Melanivka, but I'm not going to go back and find it. It's not very important. Over at the Donetsk Front. So that's all from the Zaporizhzhia Front. This is the Donetsk Front. At the Donetsk Front, we cut this into the Velika Novosilka sector, the Voleda sector, and the Marinka sector. So this is how I break down this area here. However, strategically, the Russian forces are attacking in the western part of Staromayoske towards Makharivka at Staromayoske, at Voleda towards Vodian. Ukrainian forces counterattacking at around Vodian region. A battle of Novomykhailivka continues. There is fighting reported at Georgievka as well as Krasnohorivka. So as you can see, every sector have its own offensive operation, and the fighting is still ongoing. And there is geolocation of FPV drone attacking a Ukrainian mortar position within Voleda itself. Over at the area of Staromayoske, the Russian forces are pushing. There is geolocated that they are acting around there. And so this and then over in the, of course, in the Novomykhailivka, I already did this in the frontline changes report of Russian forces appearing at the industrial area again. So these are the situation over in the Donetsk front. So not much in terms of details I should be able to go through. So this is a clearing operation. So this might be actually be red, and then this actually could be actually a frontline change. So I think I read this wrong. So yeah, I'm actually feeling very hungry now. I haven't ate lunch, and it's already 8 p.m. 8:21 p.m. Singapore time. So I may be a bit jittery when I speak. I may feeling like a bit weak. So Russian capture. So I think this one is wrong. Wait, give me a moment. I'm gonna copy this one. Yep. Sorry. Yeah, I have to do this now because because I'm definitely not in the right condition right now. Because I'm hungry and I'm feeling weak. So that's all from the Donetsk front. Over at the Avdiivka front. At the Avdiivka front, the Ukrainian forces are still trying to counterattack to push back the Russians at Badaichi, Semenivka, Olivka. Sorry, the arrow is shit. Let me do it again. Olivka and Tonenke. But Tonenke, of course, this is just them trying to push back the Russians, but the Russians are actually in the initiative as they captured Tonenke. There's an attack towards Umanske. There's an attack at Netelove, fighting reported at Pervomaiske and Nevelske, and there is attack towards Ocharitine, and fighting at Badaichi as well as Semenivka. So this is the situation, the strategic situation for the Avdiivka front. Into the details, the Russians are starting to look towards the Umanske and Netelove. They are now looking towards this. I believe that from the expansion from Tonenke, okay, let me slow down the mouse a bit. So from Tonenke in the north as well, I think they're pushing towards Umanske. I believe this is what is happening. The Ukrainians are trying to hold back the Russians. They are definitely trying to do this, and they are also trying to put pressure on the Russian forces at Olivka to prevent them from actually breaking out. Russian forces are definitely also looking at Netelove through the Vodian and the Pervomaiske direction, and Ukrainian forces are trying to hold back the Russians from Semenivka as the Russians are trying to push and straighten the front line, the northern part of this Olivka. And in the northern part, in the northern region, the Russian forces are striking Ocheretine. I think this is actually a report of strikes. Yeah. So according to the Russian Defense Ministry, Russian forces have not been able to capture Badaichi just yet. There is TOS-1A attack, rocket strike, thermobaric rocket strikes on Ukrainian forces within Badaichi, and the Ukrainian forces are actually trying to push back the Russians in Badaichi as well. And this actually corroborates what I've already said for a long time. Badaichi is actually an established position. It had been used as a very fortified position to hold back the Russians, particularly when they are trying to capture Stepove. So the lack of progress in Badaichi definitely shows how strong the line around Badaichi is. In contrast to the situation at Tonenke and Avdiivka, the Russians are making much more progress because those are actually rather weak positions. So the Russians are trying to exploit. So that's the current situation over at the Avdiivka Front. We move into the New-York Front, and the New-York Front, the Ukrainian forces are attacking in the New York region. The Russian forces bombarded Donetsk, and that's about it in the New York Front. It moved on into the Bakhmut Front. So at the Bakhmut Front, let me zoom in. In the southern flank, the Russian forces do the usual. They are attacking Klishchiivka as well as Andriivka. There is a geolocation of MLRS strike on Ukrainian forces within Klishchiivka. So this actually shows that the Ukrainian forces still are present in Klishchiivka itself. We move into the northern flank. At the northern flank, of course, the big news is the Russian Defense Ministry's announcement of the capture of Ivanivske. And this comes out of nowhere. I have no idea how to interpret this at this moment because there is no corroboration. We will continue to monitor and wait and see how this develops, whether we can corroborate this with other information. Of course, the geolocation in the previous Frontline Changes report that I've published after the last SITREP shows the Russian forces are pushing in the north, and this may corroborate a bigger frontline change, which might actually look like this might actually be the front line. So we will continue to wait and see how this goes, and definitely this is not a phase, and he's not happy. And maybe he will want to wear a hat and a ear. Yeah, okay, I'm distracted. So I blame it on the lack of food. So the Ukrainian forces are counterattacking over at Bogdanivka. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, the Russians are actually also being reported to be attacking Bogdanivka. Bogdanivka attack was reported on the 21st, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, while the Russians claimed the attack or the Ukrainian attack on the 23rd. So it was a Russian attack first, and then the Ukrainian counterattack the next day. So that's all for the Bakhmut Front. We move into the Siversk Front. So at the Siversk Front, we still have fighting reported along Rozalivka and at Vasily. This is on the 21st of March. This is not reported. This is not reported on the 22nd of March. So this attack offensive operation have ended. At Sperne, we have fighting reported through 21st to 22nd, according to I think Russian Defense Ministry. I believe it's the Russian, Ukrainian Defense Ministry. Sorry. And then Belgorod also are being reported to be under attack by the Russians, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. So this is the situation in the Siversk Front. I will definitely continue to monitor. But I don't have much hope about Belgorod. Sperne would be a bit more interesting, but Ukrainians have very strong line at Sperne as well. So Siversk Front is going to become a very scammy front. They're going to scam our attention, and time. Over at Kreminna, the Russian forces, of course, continue to attack at Terny. This time around with geolocation confirming the Russians' presence within this salient that they are in. But that's about it at Kreminna. And further up north, there's nothing over at Sviatove. We move into the Kupyansk Front. So this Kupyansk, and this is the Kupyansk Front. At the southern part of the Kupyansk Front, Russian forces are attacking again at Avdiivka and Berestove. Information coming from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry showing that the Russians are activating again over this front line. And over in the northern side, we have the usual. The Russian forces clash with Ukrainian forces at Sinkivka over here. And that's about it from the Kupyansk Front. over in the border regions, there is nothing much except some geolocation over in the Kozinka or Greveron region of the Belgorod Front. Geolocation of Russian artillery hitting Ukrainian forces at Oleksandrivka, as well as over at Popivka, there is Lancet hitting infantry fighting vehicle over at Popivka. So these are the two geolocation. These footages could be dated. It could be recent. The fact that there could be actually no more fighting in this front line is very, very possible. So so that's all. There's nothing else over in the other part of the region. So I'm not going to do a conclusion because I'm feeling hungry and there's a lot of work to do. So thank you for watching. Do press the like button. Do subscribe. And most importantly, I think more than just subscription and liking, I think subscription, of course, is super important. If you are not subscribed, you should. But the more important thing is to share. I think the YouTube algorithm is really horrible, and I have no other way to push the video anymore than what I've already done. So I think the only thing left is for you to help me share the videos. Like just share the link in your social media. Be on Twitter, Facebook. Just share it. I think everybody share. I think we'll get 2 to 3 clicks from each of you. You can actually expand the viewership by a lot, and that will help the channel tremendously. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next update.